Hi, this is Eric Saylors, speech-language pathologist and owner of Expressive Solutions. Today, I'd like to demonstrate how we could have a student roster in an iOS app. Let's begin by creating a new project. I'll use the shortcut Command-Shift-N, then select Single View Application. I'll call this Student Roster. Then I'll create it. And I'll immediately go over to the storyboard file where I will drag a navigation bar up to the top of the interface for our view controller. I'm going to rename this as Student Roster, and I'd like to drag a text view just below that navigation bar. Alright, before we go any farther, I want to show you what this will look like by running the application. Note how the navigation bar is kind of crowded with the status bar up at the top. I don't really like that, so I can change that in just a little while. Also, note how there's all this sample text in the text view. I don't really like that either, and I can clear that out. One way of clearing it out is by selecting the text view in our storyboard file, then selecting all this text and pressing the delete key. I can also clear out this text under program control in our viewcontroller.m file. Before I do that though, I'd like to go over to the assistant editor and I'll connect this text view up to the viewcontroller.m file. So I will control drag release just below the interface keyword. I'll call this my text view. Press connect, and now I have a property that I can access in my implementation file. Well, let's change to our standard editor and go to our viewcontroller.m file. Then, just below at implementation, here's where I would like to handle the status bar. If you recall, the text view and the status bar were kind of crowding one another. So what I can do is implement an instance method, prefer status bar hidden. This returns a Boolean value, so I can just type return expression yes. This will hide the status bar. Alright, now let's go down to view.did.load and recall that I want to clear out the sample text from the text view. So let's start off by creating a string. We'll call it text, and I'm going to get access to my text view. Alright, now I will set the text to a blank string, just like so. Now I'd like to create a list of students that's going to eventually display in the text view. To create a list, I can use NSArray, and I'm going to call this students. Then I'm going to use a class method, array with objects, and here's where I can type in my students' names. That's good enough for now. And I would like to loop through the array of students. Let's add a for in loop for fast enumeration. And I'm going to create a new string called names. And this would be the array here, students. Okay, now for the statements, I'm going to type text equals, and I'm going to use an instance method for in a string, and this would be string by appending format. And this is going to allow me to set the text. So we just want to get access to our objects. And now we just need to type names. Alright, so this sets the text, but we need to display the text in the text view. So let's type self my text view dot text equal text. Alright, that should do it. Let's stop the previous project, now build and run. Notice how we have the navigation bar with StudentRoster just all by itself. It's not crowding the status bar at all. And then in the text view, we have our list of students. However, all the student names are kind of running together. So let's display the student names in a vertical list. We'll go back here and we're just going to type \n for a new line between each student's names. Okay, let's build and run again. And there we go. Now we have our students' names in a vertical list. That concludes this video. I'm Eric Sailors, speech-language pathologist and owner of Expressive Solutions. Thank you for watching.